our leader and co-chairman, and my distinguished colleagues, honorable ministers, and the viewing public. This is another moment that we have all converged here to discuss the way forward on which trajectory are we going to take to place our economy back to work. Basically, my colleagues have already spoken about the volatility in the foreign exchange, which today, unfortunately, we have placed our country, dictates in terms of economy to dollars. It is only in this country that you will see that we place so much emphasis in our economic transactions. And this is because of the physical and monetary policies that we usually lay. Yes, I know the World Bank, the IMF are there, but as a country with over 200 million people, very prosperous people, the human capital is there, natural resources is there. We did not place ourselves where we're supposed to be. And this is the reason why today, with little shock somewhere, it affects us here. So I think there is a gap between even the implementers, the administrators of both our physical and monetary policies. It is when you set the monetary terms, or when you plan, you give out your rolling plan, and then follow it with what the monetary policy will now go with that plan, you'll be able to achieve what you designed to achieve. But as of today, I think there are a lot of lapses. We have inflation hitting this country. Officially, they said 28.9. It's not 28.9. It's more than 28.9. Because almost about 70% of Nigerians today cannot boast of having 3 square miles. What are we doing about that? It is our responsibility to find a way out of it. Unemployment is high, almost about 37%. So when you are talking of hunger, that is poverty. And that is what we call insecurity. And we can see what is happening today. It is because of those little things that appear to be danger ahead that today we converge here trying to find solutions. Central Bank have released their policies in terms of foreign exchange. The Central Bank governor is right here. I've heard you on Arise TV about your policies. Will you convincingly tell Nigerians that your policy is working? Yes, I know it's a free market. Supply and demands will now be able to dictate what your pricing should be. Will you be right to saying that the exchange rate today we're paying is commensurate to the demands? If it is, in what sector? The most important sector is agriculture. When people are hungry, that means it's not working. I take one simple example with Toyota vehicles. Go and look at the number of Toyota vehicles in this country. Do we manufacture Toyota vehicles? How much foreign exchange do we pay for Toyota vehicles? Or do we have a policy that will make backward integration to work by making Toyota come back here and make an assembly plant that will serve Nigeria and the sub-West African nations? Look at our population. When you are talking about agriculture, have we seen what Brazil is doing in terms of agriculture? Will Central Bank be able to tell me that what Brazil is doing, what Brazil Development Bank is doing, Central Bank has done it in Nigeria? We must tell ourselves the truth. These policies are not working. For some time, the Central Bank closed the OMO market to allow the market to dictate itself. And I'm asking, has that worked? There's no country that will allow such freelance in its foreign exchange policy. When last have you heard, either in UK, Saudi Arabia, even in some of the developing countries, where you allow your foreign exchange to skyrocket? It's not done. It's only countries like Zimbabwe that will allow that. But we are in a country with talented people. We have some of the best economists in this country. The CBN governor, you are a banker. If your bank is not working, assuming you are a managing director of a commercial bank, the basis of you having that bank is to make sure that you provide services and be able to make profits for your investors. Which investor today in Nigeria or a foreign investor will feel very scared to bring his investment to this country? How many, from the inception of this administration today, how many direct foreign investment have we? How many have divested? So when we come here today, I think it is high time that we buckle our belts to do the right thing. NNPC has been a contributor to our income in terms of revenue. And the Minister of Finance is also here. We have had so much times with that number that we have approved foreign loans in this National Assembly. And the foreign loans that we have approved, today if you convert them, they will give you trillions of naira. Are they actually reflecting? I give simple example with NASENI, National Agency for Engineering and Infrastructure also. Yes, science infrastructure. We approved in the last administration millions of dollars. And some of the reasons they gave is that it's going to be an avenue to generate more employment, make us dependent on getting solar photovoltaic being manufactured in Nigeria. Almost 3 years after, no one is talking about it. We have taken a lot of loans. We've collected money back that have been embezzled out of the country. They have repatriated some of these funds, and we say we are putting them in infrastructures. Till today, we are still funding Niger Bridge. We are funding Abuja-Kano Expressway. And with the inflation now, the rate has not even doubled. Almost 300% more. Multiplier effects of doing all these things is that it will generate employment for Nigerians. Even the food stuff that we take to the market, cost will reduce, because if there is good road, you will see smooth transition from one port to the other. It's not happening. Now just recently took $3.3 billion to cushion the volatility of foreign exchange. How does that work? I'm yet to see it when you said the market is open. How will that work? So the CBN and the Minister of Finance need to tell us what they think the 3.3 that has been taken on forward sales of our crude oil. This crude oil belongs to Nigerians, belongs to everybody. We are only entrusted to manage this. How do we relate when you compute how much Nigeria is going to pay back in terms of commitment? Is it right for Nigerians to take this loan? So, if you look at all this, I think there is need for us, before we even talk about agriculture, let's talk about the basics. 33 trillion naira in ways and means. We were just printing money at 9%. The same money is used in buying foreign exchange. At the end of every FAQ, the Bureau de Change market bursts. Are we aware that at the end of the year, going by the 9%, Nigeria is expected to have an increase in the ways and means by about 3 trillion naira? What effect will that have on our deficit? So I think there is need for the economic team to look at these issues very importantly. The NNPC funded federal government road infrastructure development as well. Over 2.something trillion was approved. As at last count, almost 700 and something billion has been released. Where are the roads? Where are the roads? If construction is going on, more employment has been taken, more of economic activities will crop up. I have not seen the roads, and Nigerians want to know what is happening with that. I will allow my other colleagues to make their own comments and put their own questions across, and then we go on. Thank you, Chairman.
Let's start from